Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the springtime craft box. So, as with all the craft boxes we bring to you, we're looking at value for money with this, and also just all the product to make a fantastic springtime make. We always try to kind of pack in all of the products that you're going to need to create something cohesive, something really nice and current as well. So I'm going to dive right into what we get in the craft box. Then I'm going to do a bit of a demonstration with a lovely simple springtime make that I've created, and then I'll show you one that I have created earlier for a blog which is coming up. So I'm not going to jump into too much detail about everything in there because I know that Jess has done a launch video for this, so make sure you go and check that out to look in detail about all of these fantastic things that come in the box. But I'm just going to go through it quite simply now. So we are getting, so this is just a random order, we're getting these lovely envelopes and cards. So these are fantastic. They're the mint julep, I believe. So these are going to fit in with the colours of cardstock that we have packed in here, and I'll show you those in just a sec. So I'm going to be using one of these card bases. These are great because they come with a pre-folded card base, which is the perfect size to fit inside the envelopes that come with here. So you're going to have no problem in fitting it in there when you're going to send it to a friend or loved one after you've made a lovely card. So there we go. There's the cards and envelopes. I'm just going to put the things to one side over here. Now, one of our most popular items in this box, which are the dimensional domes. These ones are, of course, the egg-shaped dimensional domes here because we've got Easter coming up. It's a springtime make, so eggs, which also going to be turned upside down to create a balloon, is going to make your card interactive, so you know you can fill this full of shaky bits like our sequins and beads, which incidentally come in the box as well. So you're going to get one or two of these pots of sequins and beads in the box as well. I think it's random which ones you're going to get that time anyway. So there are the sequins and beads and the dimensional domes. Now, today, make sure you keep watching because I'm going to be showing you how I have benefited from these. These are the Sizzix adhesive sheets, and they take all of the hard part away from sticking intricate die cut pieces down. And they take away the messiness as well. When you're trying to glue something that small, you're going to get it on your lovely textured cardstock, but this is going to stop that. This is brilliant stuff. So I'll be using this a little bit later. Now let's have a look at the colours of cardstock. So I'm opening this box. This is the way that it is going to be for you as well. You're going to get it in this lovely protective plastic here, so you're not going to have any blemishes on your cardstock or anything like that. Now, as always, as I mentioned, we're going for current colours, but we're also going for cohesive colours. So this is Colour Story, mainly the cardstock here. And that means that you're always going to be able to create a cohesive make. And what I mean by cohesive is that the colours are always going to go together. Everything thematically is going to be, is going to work well together. So all these colours you can see, and we've matched it to those lovely kind of springtime, these light pinks here. We've got the mint julep there. We've got the Arctic sky, the lavender dust, the hibiscus. These are all versatile colours, so these can be used all year round, but the way that we've packaged them together here is going to be perfect for your springtime makes coming up. So think, well, we've already had Valentine's Day, I think, so Mother's Day is coming up, so a lovely springtime make for Mother's Day, or if someone has a springtime birthday. So here are the lovely card colours, and I love the way that some of them pop, like our Mango Tango, and some of them are more subtle, like the Limoncello there and the Arctic Sky. So these are going to be great to use in your make. So there is the cardstock. Now, before I move on to the star of the show, which is always the dies for me, I'm going to show you the rest of our cardstock. So we have a pack here of our silver opulent cardstock. So 10 sheets. I'll just place this plastic over here. So 10 sheets of our opulent cardstock. Now that's 2 sheets of each style of the cardstock here. So we've got the glitter, which is lovely stuff. You'll notice if I go like this, there is not a speck of glitter is going to come off this card. This is really high quality cardstock, but it's got that lovely glittery surface there. Now we've got the matte silver here, which is a more subtle silver. That means that it's not shiny. So if you're using it for a big broad surface, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be completely reflective. It's that lovely kind of subtle matte effect there. Now we have the brushed metal here. So I'm hoping the camera can pick up the texture of this, because we have mirror card, which I'm guessing is underneath it. Yes, I'm right. So we've got the mirror, which is just really shiny, almost like a mirror, but the brushed metal's got that lovely brushed effect on it, which is really nice, especially when you're cutting. I like cutting sentiments from this, and you can just see that subtle brushed effect coming through. And then we've got the mirror card. So I've mentioned the mirror card there. That's just really lovely and shiny and fresh. And then we have the pearl. So again, if I just angle this round, it's almost got a glittery sheen to it, this. And I can see sort of different colors coming through when the light reflects off it. It's a really interesting effect, this. I really like using it. And this one just happens to be the darkest of the colors in the opulent set. So you can use it with kind of white on top and things like that. It's a really lovely card. And I can't believe I'm not finished yet. Every time I do one of these craft box videos, and I keep getting the product out and seeing how much more there is and the value for money you're getting, I'm always astonished by how much we pack in there for you. So, of course, with every craft box, we've got this lovely, fresh, white cardstock, and that is 5 sheets of the fresh white cardstock. We include this lovely fresh white because it makes the colours pop against it. When it's really, really clean like this, the colours look absolutely astounding on there. So I love using that, and I'll be using it today. And last but not least, now the die sets. First, we'll have a look at this one here. This is a lovely kind of decorative framelit set almost, but it's floral around the outside. So you can sort of highlight areas of the card that you want to highlight in this. Say if you have a die cut piece from the set that I'm about to show you in a sec, because this is my favorite, you can highlight them with this, and you know, you can cut segments of it, you can use the whole thing, you can put things in the middle. It's just a really nice die set to go with this one here, and this is the Spring Has Sprung, if I get it the right way, Spring Has Sprung die set from Chapter 1. Now this is a really great one for Easter, but also just for spring, and then we've got those evergreen elements in there like the foliage and the floral elements, which again I've used today. We have a sentiment here, so we've got spring has sprung, and we've also got happy, so you can have happy spring as well. We've got this lovely egg framelit, which works with the dimensional dome that I mentioned earlier. So you can create lovely kind of dimensional interactive cards, and that's one of the makes that I'm going to show you after this that I have done in a blog, so stick around for that. So that's everything that's coming in this box. I'm gonna pack it away because I don't want any of this to get ruined. I've already got my nice sets out to create my demo with. So let's have a look. I've taken some of the cherry blossom and some of that lovely white card. Now I mentioned these adhesive sheets earlier. These are really cool, and they don't just speed up the making process, they clean it up as well. So as I mentioned earlier, you're not going to get any of those kind of shiny, gluey marks anywhere, because what I'm going to do, it's really easy to use. You just peel this top layer off. Now the sticky bit is going to go down on the side of the card that you're not going to be placing your dies on. Okay, so I'm going to cut round this area just so I know when I'm die cutting. You don't have to do this at home, but when I'm die cutting, I like to know that everywhere on this page is covered by the adhesive sheet on the back. And of course, I might have been a bit wasteful with the cardstock there. I probably should have just put it to one side and wasted a whole sheet of that lovely white there, but you guys don't do that at home. So I can put my scissors down now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run these through the switch machine with the foliage and floral elements here. Now I'm just cutting them from white because I want them to stand out on this lovely cherry blossom cardstock here. And you'll see why in a sec. So the ease of the switch machine, all I need to do, so I can run the first one through. The pressure of the switch machine is going to sort this out for me. I might run it back through just because we've got that extra layer of the adhesive sheet on there to cut through. But the first time, I've sort of got nothing to do while it's going through. But the beauty of the switch machine is as I'm working on this, which you'll see in a sec, we're going to be able to let the machine cut whilst we are placing down our die set bits here. I wish I had my die pick here, but I'm having to try to use the tweezers, which isn't going according to plan, but we're just about getting there, so bear with me. Now, I can take these parts out, so the switch machine has made sure that the pressure on these is perfect. Now again, I'm going to carry on cutting through these, but as mentioned, I can let the switch do what it's going to do, and I can crack on with this bit here. So, because I used that adhesive sheet, I can just peel this off here now, and then I can stick these perfectly down onto here randomly. So that's done there. I can take that out in a sec. But we want to take care with this part here because I want to create a lovely pattern with these. So I'm going to start putting down my elements like this, but I want to make sure that I'm filling up the space evenly. That's the important thing about this make, is to make it so that we don't just stick them down randomly. We're filling up, we're creating a pattern here. So we can cut these as many times as we want. And then after you've done that, you can slice it and frame it all. So don't worry about these sides here. You could even go off the edge of the side there if you wanted. So I'll keep going just with all of the bits and making sure I'm using small florals and big florals because it's going to create a nice lively composition there. And then I can take the rest of them that I've cut from this same nice fresh element. I tell you what, the switch machine has made quick work of that for me. So that's just an extra benefit of that machine. There we go. So I'm creating a pattern here. And what's going to happen is once I've kept adding to this, I want to basically fill this whole side here so that I can pick and choose. And I've cut around it and it's created an element like this. So this looks like a patterned element, but it's got a bit of dimension to it because we've got that lovely thick white card. It's like a patterned strip with that added dimension, which is just so cool. It's really sophisticated. So that's going to be one of the main features of my card. But I'll tell you what, all I need to do now really, because I've pre-cut my bunny element from this set here, and I've laid it up so that I'm using his little scarf from some of that limoncello. Again, it's the cherry blossom in his ear. It's just that white again. So we get to use the white a lot more than you'd think. It's not just for card bases. It's a lovely crisp white that stands out also against the colours in here. So I will begin layering my card up. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have these pre-cut card bases here, and that is incredibly handy. because I don't have to worry about cutting it down to the right size so that it fits within my envelope. I know that this card, once I've made it, is going to be ready to send to whoever. And as we all know at the minute, sending cards and just sending gifts and things to each other is a big thing because we're not as able to go and see each other in person. It's just another benefit of these craft boxes. So there we are, taking the foam tape off there now. On this strip, I'll just show you this strip before I stick it down. I've stuck down my spring has sprung element here. Do you know what I've realised I'm missing here? There's a tiny little dot that goes above the eye that is part of the set, but I haven't put it on yet. But if you recreate this make sure you put it on. But you can see that I've left space here towards the left side, and I'll show you why in just a sec. So I stuck this one down with foam tape there to add the dimension to that. So now this card front has got this lovely, really sophisticated layer with the pattern that I've created that's got the added dimension, and then in front of that there's even more dimension because I've used the foam tape on the back of here. So I try not to use things that don't come in the box for these makes, but the only thing I've used here is some adhesive and foam tape, which I'm guessing as crafters we probably have at home. Hopefully, but if not, we can recreate this using just glue. So there we are. I'm sticking my bunny element down here, and already I really love that. But we do have this nice little butterfly element. Now, of all of our butterfly sets, I love the ones that have tiny little butterflies like this because they're great for filling space. So I'll just add a tiny bit of express glue to this. Now I didn't use my adhesive sheet for this element because I want the dimension, so I want it to come off the card here. I think that's stuck down, can't tell. Yep, that's stuck down. So we can see that the bunny now is sort of looking upwards towards the butterfly, which is just flying overhead. And then just to finish off, I'm taking some of the floral elements. I'm going to stick this down here. But before I do, I'm going to use some of those tiny die cut foliage elements that I created earlier, because waste not, want not. So I'm going to stick that one down here. Whenever I do a little foliage element, I like them not to be sort of curving in towards each other. I much prefer them to be curving away because aesthetically, I just think it makes for a nicer make. But that's just my taste. And then the second one will go in here. So there they are, they're curving away from each other. And then I can just add this tiny little floral, just adding little tiny bits of colour there that are going to tie in the rest of it. So if you look here, you can see how kind of intentional this is in the way that I have tied in the little scarf with the floral. I've got the ear of the rabbit is tying in with this strip here, and then all the white ties in. But this lavender dust element is standing out because that's the sentiment, so that stands out on its own. So that is my whole make that I'm using today. It's very simple, but as always with the craft boxes, I like to keep the make that I'm showing you simple. Now you people at home, obviously we're going to have some really talented crafters at home who are going to have a whole arsenal of products that they can advance these makes with even more. But the reason that I keep it nice and simple and all about the composition and the dimension is because I just want you to know that if you were to just buy the craft box, maybe you're getting started, you've just bought yourself a Sizzix Big Shot machine, whether it's a Switch or one of our other machines, and you just want to have a go at crafting, the craft box is absolutely perfect for it because you can create really kind of nice professional looking things like this. So as I mentioned, I have done a blog as well. which will be coming up on the Sizzix website soon, and that's using the same die sets there. Now, I haven't even gotten around to using the other die element that comes in the box, but I'm sure that Jess will have a making her launch to show you the use of that. But I can think of a million ideas for that one, and the fact that it's floral and it goes with these parts as well. But you can see here that I've used the dimensional dome, and I've just used that dome. These domes are perfect. If you want to really draw attention to something on one of your makes, the domes are a perfect way to do it, because you pop a dome over it and instantly your eye is drawn to all these lovely detailed bits. And I've included a lovely chick jumping up in the air, maybe trying to fly. And then I've got these foliage elements that are just coming through. And then again, we've used the foliage elements just as an embellishment on that lovely sentiment. And the sentiment here, if I just move this round, you should be able to sort of see that that's from our mirror card there. So it's got that kind of shiny element. And then with this being a nice interactive card, can you hear that shaking? That's because we've used some of our sequins and beads in here to make it an interactive card. So, I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. For more inspiration, go and have a look on the Sizzix website. So if you're in the US, that's sizzix.com. And if you are in the UK or Europe, that's sizzix.co.uk. And just have a look, because we've done loads of blogs on there. There's loads of imagery with ideas on how to use these fantastic ranges of product. So, again, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.